Hi everyone, we've been writing a model argumentative essay on television in preparation for the argumentative essay you will write on a different topic. To write that essay, you will have to use provided sources only in order to support your thoughts. For our model essay, we use The Trouble with Television by Robert McNeil from the Red Literature book, as well as 3 other articles that we can find online. You must make sure that you use at least 2 of the provided sources, and you must also cite all the sources that you have used on a works cited page. To do that, we're going to use EasyBib and work in MLA format. Already installed on your Chromebook is the EasyBib citation extension. You'll see the orange book in the top right corner in your extensions menu. Click on that, then click on Cite on EasyBib to begin the citation process. We are going to be citing a book, so we're going to change our source type from content published originally on a website to book. It will redirect us to a form, and then we will make sure we click in print because we read our article, our speech by Robert McNeil, The Trouble with Television, from our red textbook. We are not citing the whole book, we're just citing that speech, so we'll select chapter or section. It will redirect us, and the first thing that we will need to do is make sure that we have published originally in this book, and then give the title. The title is The Trouble with Television. Make sure that your capitalization is always correct in anything you type into this form. EasyBib will not correct the capitalization in names or titles for you. This was a short publication within the book, so we're going to leave chapter, essay, poem, short story selected. Our source author was Robert McNeil, so we'll fill those boxes in. The book title is Prentice Hall Literature, Language and Literacy, and we just find that on the front of our book. Notice that it doesn't have a specific volume or version on it, so we're going to leave the next part where it says volume, edition, series, blank. The publisher can be found on the second page of the book, the inside of that cover page, and it's going to tell you not only the name of the publisher, but also when and where it was published. So we're looking at 2010 by Pearson Education, Inc. in Upper Saddle River, New Jersey. So we'll add that information into our source citation. Then we'll click Create Citation. Now, we're not done because we didn't use just The Trouble with Television from the red textbook. We also used at least one of the other available sources in order to meet the requirements of 2 provided sources. So we're going to click on Study Supports Benefits of Educational TV for Reading by Kathleen Manzo, and we're going to say that we used this as our second source. We'll get to the actual essay. You'll notice that it has today's date at the top, the date we accessed. The name of the website is Education Week. Here's the title of the article and the author's name. The publication date is also available for us. Since we're in a website, EasyBib makes it a little easier to create the citation. Just go to the URL line at the top, click Copy, and then paste it into the Cited line, making sure you're in MLA format. It will tell you what it found, the website title, article title, date accessed, and what it didn't find, the publisher, when it was published, and the authors. We'll make sure to fill this information in when we create our citation. So we've got this filled in, anything with a red box is where we need to fill some things in. So we've got Kathleen Kennedy Manzo as our author. It looks like it grabbed some extra punctuation on the title, so we'll get rid of that. Now we're looking for a publisher or a sponsor. Well, we know that our website title is Education Week, but we don't see any publisher or sponsor at the top of the page. We'll then look to the bottom of the page to find that information. So here at the bottom, we find that our sponsor or publisher is Editorial Projects in Education. And that's what we'll type into this box. We'll leave the URL, but we won't display it. It just makes the citation messy to do that. Next, we'll fill in the day, month, and year of publication. Usually this will be at the top of the page. Right here, this article does tell us when it was published. If you can't find it here, you can also use the copyright date at the bottom of the page if no specific date is available at the top. But since we do have here that this was published on March 2nd, 2009, we're going to add that into our citation. Then we will click Create Citation. Notice that underneath your new citation, you will have a list of the citations that you've recently created. So our citation for the trouble with television is still there. We'll check the box for that, and then we'll check the box for this article. If the only two sources you used were the trouble with television and study supports benefits of educational TV for reading, then you have created all your sources and you are ready to format it for publication in your essay. If you used any of the other 4 sources, you'll need to repeat the process of working in EasyBib for them in order to add them to your works cited page. We're going to assume that these are the only 2 sources we're using, and now we're going to create our actual works cited page. To do that, we'll click Export, Save to Google Docs. This will create a document for you that is already formatted correctly in alphabetical order in your Google Drive. Once it's successfully created, it will give you a link to go to Google Docs. Now you have your works cited page completely done. It is completely formatted, it is alphabetical, and all you have to do is copy it, or Control-C, and paste it onto the very last page of your argumentative essay. Good luck!